Well, this is the last day, and we're at the plot with Abe and Morgan, and sometimes at the close to the last minute, things happen, and it kind of puts you in a little bit of a different time track, mode, element, I don't know what you want to call it. Morgan, can you explain what just happened with just a few hours left in the competition?
I was working on this lion face, and essentially half of it just fell off, and now I've concluded that it's because we had same-size forms, and so the water wasn't draining straight down. It was seeping, and there is a phrase: "It's if it's oozing, you're going to be a losing." and I lost.
She lost the first phase, but she's going to do it again, and she does have time to finish that. So, what it might do though is take away a little bit of time that she was going to be spending on something else. You can see Abe over there working on the elephant. This is a time where they have to make decisions of how much time they're going to spend on certain elements in order to get the sculpture finished to a complete, neat, clean, consistently carving all the way down. This is a really fun piece. The name of this piece is Number 2, and if you look around enough, you will notice that Number 2 is expressed in an animal way and a human way. I'm not really sure how to say that. Everybody is going Number 2, except for the monkeys over here that are throwing Number 2. So, we've been talking all along about Abe and Morgan's sense of humor, but not only the sense of humor, the quality of the carving is incredible as well. They have fun with the piece all the time. The public loves their work and their sense of humor. So we'll see how they finish this one off. Okay, we're with Deb and Steve now. And Deb, the title of your piece is called The Colors in the Mind. Okay, but you also have a little tagline down below that little rhyme thing. Can you...
Well, the object of this piece is that there is so much color, but there is no color. So the object was to try to get the public to see the color that's in front of them.
You have a little rhyme there. What is that?
Oh, it is, right. It's the colors of the rainbow. So it goes red, orange, green, blue, shiny yellow, purple too.
That's the first time I've heard that little ditty there, but it makes complete sense now. And what Deb was saying is very interesting is sand has one color, and you can't paint it, you don't paint it, so they're expressing and representing the sand in a color with an object or an item that we're all familiar with that color.
The artist's palette, exactly. And the funny thing is, people would start to get it, but then when they got to the frog or the police
That's what I did. I'm like, why isn't it red, orange, yellow, green? We want to think that way.
And we don't want that. That's the point. Yeah. I was trying to get them to think beyond one-dimensional.
You did that. You succeeded in doing that.
Awesome.
You're doing the finishing touches, the hand. Now is Steve doing fingers, the other fingers over there?
Well, actually, this was actually presented, we're trying to get a plaque in the front. This is actually meant to be presented as if it was a museum piece.
Okay.
So we're doing a form and a plaque, and the fingers may or may not get over there.
Yeah, it almost looks like if this were in perspective, in proportion, that might be too far out for them to reach. So they're actually underneath the palette, so they wouldn't make... Yeah. Well, nice job, and don't want to take you away from the finishing. You're just down to a couple of hours left, and good luck.
Thank you.
Woo. We're with the Davids right now, and the name of their piece is called Fractal, and I'm going to ask David to explain that a little bit. But before I do, remember we were talking about committing yourself to a piece earlier in the week. Are you ready to shoot yourself in the foot right now, or go crazy because you're repeating and carrying on this?
We knew what we're into. It's like the nature of the piece is like it repeats itself. It's more of a let's say about visual.
It's a beautiful piece with amazing flow. I love the flow to it. What is the title? Can you explain how the title refers to your piece?
Yeah, fractals is it's like a mathematical formula that things live by, that our patterns repeat themselves within themselves.
Okay.
And it's like a life is made out of that.
Mm-hmm. Almost, I think a lot of that we see under the water in our sea anemones.
Yeah, exactly. And then
coral.
From cauliflowers to corals.
I've heard people in the crowd saying, "Is that coral? Is that a flower?" Or is it, so you've succeeded in the pattern and.
Yeah, and right now for me, I was the essence of it was ocean, like
Okay.
an ocean,
All right.
an ocean
Then they're
living plant.
That's beautiful. It's really nice. And carry on. I don't want to take you away from your work. You have a couple of hours left, and good luck.
Great.
We are with Dan and Marianne again. And, something we were talking about in Deb and Steve's piece with the palette is color, and that sand has no color. And you can see a technique that Dan and Marianne have used throughout their whole piece is textures. Just something so simple like this as the raised circles and the splotch marks and the lines, just to give the illusion of color. You can see what Marianne has done. And I love these bodies. They look so real. They've created texture that if you use your imagination and you're creative enough, that is the color, creating the texture. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go talk to Marianne, because we haven't talked to Marianne. Well, at least I haven't talked to Marianne. And he has been saying how wonderful his partner is. I know you're wonderful. I know you. I love you. How do you feel about Dan as a partner?
Well, I know he will see this at some point, but it's been rough. It's been rough. It's a challenge, and I don't want to burst his bubble, but yeah, I think this is a one and only thing. No, it's been amazing. It's the best competition I've done. It's really
all along I've been watching how much fun you guys have together. You get an amazing response from the crowd. It's an amazing sculpture. I love it. I hope you do well, and carry on your textures. I mean, they look like real people, it's just amazing. I love it.
cool. Very
Good
cool.
luck.
Thank you.
Okay, we've been doing most of the critiquing from down inside the pits where the sculptors are. The public, I'm standing where the public sees this sculpture, and this is as close as they can get to the sculpture. Dan and Marianne use that to their advantage, because the public is back far enough that when you stand right where this arrow is, you can see what they have been spending so much time and so much planning to create, is that when you put all these pieces together and stand in this one spot, it's the illusion of a frog. That takes so much time. They have to jump over that fence and come to this spot over and over and over again, probably 100 times during the sculpting portion of this, because every time they start to sculpt one of these elements, it has to line up exactly with the center feature, which is the woman right in the center. That's what they started from, and the items were all placed around that, and it's like a puzzle that has come together. And the woman's head is the top part of the frog. You can see the eyes on the other two heads behind her. Those are the eyes of the frog, and then of course the arms. The fingers are natural, they're not human fingers, obviously they're frog fingers. And then the two bodies with the heads in the sand are the legs, and it's just a beautiful combination of sculpting talent, creative, and just planning. Everything went into this sculpture, and they succeeded. Sometimes you do that and it's a risk. It's always a risk, but sometimes you succeed and sometimes you don't. If one of those elements was off even 6 inches, it would give it it would not complete the effect. So job well done, and good luck to them. Okay, well, with Paul and Remy now, and this piece is coming together beautifully. You can see the owl. Look at how sweet that is, holding the owl. If you look up at their figure right here, you can see I don't know what type of a little creature it is underneath her nose. And knowing the animal lovers and nature lovers that you are, I bet you're just leaving it there and not moving it. You're gonna.
She's been there for hours blessing our sculpture.
Oh, see that? They consider that blessing the sculpture, not making it look like she has something dripping out of her nose.
Done a beauty spot, yeah.
Well, it's finishing up beautifully. It's got such nice flow to it, nice lines. Combination of, you've got this flat surface, tall, big, massive surface behind you, and then the contrast with the beautiful, soft figure and the lines in contrast with the flat, smooth owl in the back. It's very nice. They're finishing up down here. Now you can see that they don't have any sand around the base. They used a lot of sand in their pound up itself, and part of the judging criteria is usage of sand. So they will most likely score pretty well with the usage of sand. And that they're finishing it off now, and you can see Remy putting creases in the dress. Beautiful, very, very nice. Good luck, guys.
Cheers. Thank you very much.